Hello everyone. Hope you're doing great. This is Motorsport Progression, and I'm back again with another video. So I just want to talk about free practice 2 for the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and what actually happened in the session. So, just looking at the top of the leaderboard, it was Oscar and Lando trading fastest times, and they traded fastest times a few times. And even in one moment, Verstappen was a little bit faster. And then in the end, Lando was the quicker driver by about a tenth of a second from Oscar Piastri. So it looks to me this weekend that Lando is getting better performance out of the car than he had last week at the Bahrain Grand Prix. So Lando will be happy with that. But as you know, in Formula One, things can turn around really quickly. So we just have to wait for FP3 and then qualifying and to see how things go. But one thing I'll say is when Lando is quicker than Piastri, he's quicker than more than like a tenth or two, sometimes three tenths. But when Piastri is quicker than Lando, it's only like thousands of a second, I mean, sometimes it's a 10 for 2, but Lando is the more dominant driver. I know Piastri is very, very good, and I'm not doubting his ability, but I know Lando is very, very good. I can remember last season he put a lot of pressure on Max Verstappen and showed a lot of weaknesses that Max had, with the World Championship battle. Okay, moving on to the practice session as well. There was a few drivers who touched the wall, like Alexander Albon and even like Jack Doohan. He had a little skirmish, on one of the curves on one of the corners. So there was a few mistakes from the drivers, and it's a practice 2 session. They're just trying to get their feet, what I mean, wet and stuff like that. So they're just trying to get things sorted. So that was the news from there. And there was an incident for Yuki Tsunoda as well with like 8 minutes to go. He crashed into the wall, causing a red flag, and that wasn't really really good for him. So he struggled there. So Yuki Tsunoda had his first crash in the Red Bull, and it wasn't a good look. So basically, coming into the last corner, he took too much inside curb. He touched the wall on the inside, and he broke the suspension, and then he just went straight into the wall on the outside, which was really unfortunate. But I'm sure he's gonna find some performance. So looking at the actual classification, let me give you from number 1 to number 20 here. So in first position, you got Landonorris in the McLaren with a 1 minute 28.267 seconds, and he done 18 laps. Then you got Oscar Piastri in second position, just about a tenth and a half off. Then you got Max Verstappen in third position. He was 0.280 seconds off, and he completed 20 laps. And then in fourth position, you had Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. He had 0.482 seconds off the fastest time. Then in fifth position, you got Carlos Sainz in the Williams. So Williams are really holding it up at the top of the leaderboards. They had good performance this season. So shout out to Williams there. Then in sixth position, you got Yuki Tsunoda, despite the crash. Seventh position, you got George Russell. Eighth position, you got Pierre Gasly. Ninth position, you got Nico Hulkenberg. 10th position, you got Alexander Albon. 11th position, you got Kimi Antonelli. 12th position, you got Isaac Hadjar. 13th position, you got Lewis Hamilton. 14th position, you got Liam Lawson. 15th position, you got Fernando Alonso. 16th position, you got Oliver Bearman. 17th position, you got Jack Doohan. 18th position, you got Lance Stroll. 19th position, you got Esteban Ocon. And 20th position, you got Gabriel Bortoleto. So yeah, that's the top 20 for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix Practice 2 classification. So Lando was on top of the times. And surprisingly, Lewis is in 13th. I don't understand why, but when I saw his interview, he struggled a little bit with the warm up of the tires, and he's gonna try and find some performance today. So hopefully that goes okay for him. So, but he's quite far from Leclerc at the moment. So he's got to find some. He's about maybe 5 or 6 tenths behind Leclerc. So he's got to find some performance there. And Oscar as well. I don't know if he's signed back in, but Oscar was really, really close in the early part of the session to Lando. They had identical times, thousands of seconds in it. But then Lando had a time like a tenth and a half of a second quicker than Oscar. So we'll see what happens in FP3 and then qualifying, and see how the grid shapes up for the Grand Prix on Sunday. So yeah, peeps, I just want to say to everyone, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And yeah, the channel's growing, and yeah, thank you everyone on the channel, for your great support, and I really appreciate it. I'm so happy about that. And I just want to say to everyone watching this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get any new videos that come out. Then you can like the video as well. It helps with the algorithm. Then you can drop your comments below. If you got any comments, feel free to drop it below. And also, if you got any questions to ask me about Formula One, feel free to ask me. And then you can also share the video on your various social media platforms. That would really, really help, so other people can get the knowledge, and they can learn as well. You can also click on another video, because there's more content on the channel that you can learn from. And also you can come back on the channel whenever you feel whenever feel like learning something about motorsports. So yeah, peeps, I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I'm on to the next one. Thank you.